What are some subtle relationship red flags that are often overlooked? First dates, long-term relationships, and everything in between. When you start to hate the person you are when you're with them. 1,000 times yes. Before him, I was an athletic, social person with a decent job. I pretty much lost all the good I built up in the last 2 years because of that relationship, and I'm only just picking up the pieces. A few possible approaches. Hold on to your dignity. Not all of his or reasons of why it was your fault can be true. You have to keep your sense of self in the midst of all the emotional damage of the breakup. Understand you were in a situation that affected your behavior and learn to forgive yourself accordingly. And most importantly, learn from it. It may have indeed been your fault, but the only way that would make you a person is if you do nothing to fix yourself. Yep, that was me. Before her, and when we just started dating, I was happy, easygoing, and a sociable guy. As we continued dating, I felt like I lacked everything and was constantly in a bad mood. Towards the end, I figured out she was the issue, and she didn't understand that when I tried to explain to her that. When she's in a bad mood for no reason and telling me to stop being boring and moody, I'm not going to be happy. When you dread them coming home from work and weekends, when you plan something nice, sweet and romantic, and put your every effort into it, and a little unexpected bump in the road happens and they endlessly berate you and complain and just make the whole event terrible. I worked at 3 a.m. on a Friday MF, got home from work at 9 a.m., washed and cleaned the car, chopped a tree up into firewood, went to the store and bought food and supplies for camping, dug around my parents' house for hours getting gear, packed everything up, picked her up from home after sitting through rush hour. She'd gotten home and showered / changed / ready to go, with a big bag of weed and nice drinks and snacks, drove for 7 hours in the fog at night to the coast, all to take her camping for her birthday. And all she did was yell at me about how horrible everything was, how nothing was comfortable, how cold she was, how tired she was, how much she just wanted to game. After all the backbreaking work I put in, I never even got a thank you or a kiss from it. Just anger and hate. It wasn't even that bad. She didn't do a single minute of driving. We packed up and went home that morning. Late to the party, but perhaps typing it out will help. No amount of effort is good enough. If it is, then that's expected every day. But that level of pampering will kill a person. Anyway, it's too late for me. Lady turned into a different person after marriage. I know that sounds cliche, but I don't know what has happened. It's like a switch flipped. I wish I could say it's the pregnancy. I don't know. I just wish the pain would go away. I just like to stay at work at this point. Coming home just means I'll be yelled at for something I couldn't have done, cause I have to work all day. Please, please, please listen to me when I say this. I know it seems like you're in it for the long haul, but the most important thing I have learned in life came from experience, and it's one I wish I never had to have. No amount of honor, commitment, devotion, or love for a person is ever worth sacrificing every bit of your own. The small highs of happiness you get are like a shot glass of sunshine that should actually be a whole ocean full, smothered by the constantly looming storm on the horizon. You're always looking back at it, waiting for it to hit shore, and it does, and then it's 100% damage control mode. This isn't a life. It feels like one, but if you get out of it, you will all of a sudden feel like you just took your first breath of air. All those little things you did to keep that person calm or avoid conflict will start feeling odd, and you'll realize you haven't been yourself in an eternity. It's shocking. It's depressing. It's kind of emotional, even if you don't really want it to be, but it's real, and the feeling of real personal freedom to pursue the happiness you deserve in life is the most priceless commodity you can possess. You might love the person you married, but people can and do change. The reasons are endless, but in the end, those reasons don't make it an acceptable situation. What we have in life, when you boil everything down to the bare bones of it, is who we are. If you feel like you have to do a dance around the woman you married to keep things at bay, it is the absolute most sincere sign that who you are is being devoured. That step is hard to take, but it's one you will likely never regret. I didn't. Every day gets better. I have my future again. I have my passion. Life's full of some experiences, but you're not alone, man. Be strong, look out for yourself. If she has yet to give birth, there's a high chance it's raging. Hormones blocking her rationality and quite a bit of exhaustion / depression. But if you have a kid now and nothing has changed, be vigilant to what is best for that kid. They pick up on your misery and any tension between the two of you, and it will affect them profoundly if it is a common situation they recognize. Best of luck, dude. This I've been with two people who made me feel guilty or obligated around them. Whenever guilt is the primary motivator moving the relationship forward, you should either be openly discussing your differences and how some of them need to stay that way, or you should both be looking for people that more closely resemble your expectations. Not to mention, those two relationships ended quickly. I'm a guy who is easy to guilt or convince to a point. Eventually, too much gets asked of me and I peace out though. Best two decisions of my dating career was burning out on those two. I'm in a similar situation, but one detail is exactly the opposite. The longer I spend time away from my girlfriend, the more I focus on the things I don't like about her, but also the things I hate about her parents. Sometimes it has gotten so bad that when I'm around her, I'm completely silent and I can barely squeeze out any conversation. But fortunately, most of the time that I'm with her, the anger and hatred subsides. But in my case, a lot of this falls on me. The problems I have with her or her parents are just that, the problems I have. 2 weeks ago, she made the comment that she is either happy or satisfied, I can't remember the word, with our relationship. At that point, I certainly wasn't. But since then, I've realized that so many of these problems have their root directly in me, and I can rip them out by the roots if I so choose. Ever since, our relationship has healed on my end because I chose to. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, yes, hating that person when you're with them could be a red flag about the relationship, but it may just be a red flag about you. P.S. I'm about to do this long distance with this girl. But this comes from what you do, which is to receive their actions, thoughts, beliefs, etc. negatively. If you change the way you see, try to understand them no matter how stupid they are being, then that would be received differently and wouldn't crystallize into resentment. This is necessary for every relationship because we are all idiots, and that is why so many relationships don't make it past the 2-year mark. Mostly because we can't stand each other, and after a year or two the passion starts fizzling out. Partially because we are incapable of a serious relationship, and partially because of resentment. Yeah, but let's face it, some people go through their entire lives terribly annoyed with everyone. Are they supposed to remain single? They tend to remain single. Others are pretty much easily happy and monogamous. They have simple needs and are very low maintenance. You could pair them up with many people, and they would probably get on by fairly well because they are born tolerant, relaxed, easygoing, optimistic, etc. So it's not so impressive if people just don't destroy each other in a marriage. Even if they are easygoing, seemingly happy, and so forth, they could still be missing a lot. A marriage in the right hands can unlock doors we can't even imagine. It is something otherworldly. Even the best couples we see are a pale shadow compared to those who know how to extensively work on themselves psychologically. Psychological saints who really profoundly meditate on why they are angry, why they lie or are jealous. Marriage can become a true paradise. This knowledge is as fleeting as a diamond in the desert nowadays, since we are all so selfish and we wake up every morning and immediately start fulfilling our own personal desires until we go to sleep. If we started sacrificing for our spouse, sacrificing our own suffering to make them happy, then amazing results occur. By means of analogy, 4 hands make for lighter work. Happiness is increased exponentially. This is impossible for even our supposed best couples, who really are usually only good at putting on appearances. But even if they get along like best friends, they act mechanically, and jealousy and anger are abound if you know where to look.